Hello everyone. Today the episode will be a little bit different. We are going to be talking about a very beautiful word in Japanese. It's called Kaizen. And what is the common thing between Tesla and Kaizen? And let's talk about what other companies are doing and how they relate to Kaizen. Welcome, my friends. You are watching the Better Future Project, where we are all about sharing positivity, having a good time together, and about knowledge. So, talking about knowledge, what is Kaizen? Kaizen comes from the Japanese word kai, which is change, and zen, which is good. So basically, the change is good. Why is this important? Because Anthony Robbins and Brian Tracy likes to talk about Kaizen. They implement this model of constant and never-ending improvement in their business, in their teachings, and they literally apply it into their lives. There is a so-called 1000% formula about Brian Tracy. If you don't know what it is, please make sure you do a quick search. You're going to find out. And back to Anthony Robbins, he says that we do need to improve. We do need a change. And we are sure that the change is just that, change. It could be good, it could be bad. But the principle of constant and never-ending improvement is simple. Let's make sure that tomorrow we are better, we are more productive, we are more organized, we've done something right. One step more, one idea more, one execution more. Jeff Bezos himself is talking about it. He says, I'm expecting from my leaders in Amazon, while he was running Amazon, while he was a chief executive officer there. He was a CEO and he's been taking different interviews, and on some of them he says, I like smaller teams. I like teams that they like to call it a pizza kind of meeting, when you don't have more people in the room than a simple pizza can feed. And this is what Elon Musk is doing as well. It seems that the companies needs to be lean, it needs to be hungry, it needs to be ready for hard work, for progress, and they need to apply Kaizen principle. Even us, as people, as humans, we do that ourselves. We go to work, we get better. You go on your bike, you fail a couple of times until you know how to balance. Later on, you can even ride a motorcycle. So you move to a car, then from a car, you can continue to improve. You can become a racing driver. You can just become a better driver until FSD comes around. And what is an AI? AI by nature is a software that can learn from itself, from the environment, from the biological experience of humans that is put down into books, newspapers, magazines, articles, interviews, you name it. In 2025, by some estimations, which is literally next year, the AI, or the general artificial intelligence, will be smarter than humans. If this is the case, it's not something that we can't imagine anymore. It's basically a software that can deduct, it can learn, it can solve problems, it can write articles, it can do complex mathematical tasks, and it can actually solve them. We can see that software is improving significantly to a point when Garry Kasparov loses a chess game from a computer. And don't forget that Google and DeepMind continues to improve and also diversify. If you're not familiar, currently DeepMind is working on a lot of projects, and some of them are into the healthcare industry. They've recently managed to understand how proteins are folded And eventually this is going to lead to new cures, perhaps some sort of personal medicine. We'll see. We'll stay on track on that. We'll talk about it in another episode. Back to the AI. By definition, AI is getting smarter, or that's what we kind of think. Is that true or not? It's too difficult to say because we don't understand what is consciousness. However, if a logic is there and it can prove to us why is it saying what it is saying, then it can reason. And if the AI can reason, then it can take decisions based on its own reasoning. So we're on the cusp of a new era, and I've already mentioned it into some of my first videos that this looks like a new industrial revolution, because AI will be so big, it will impact our lives, it will impact the world. And we already see this into our software. We can see that the software now is with a simple click can read your screen out loud. It can translate between pretty much any known language, which is like something that no human can do. So if you've got a software that is ready to translate on any language, and it's getting better in the meantime, can you imagine when this software starts to learn from experiences around the world, either through a humanoid body, or maybe through cameras, or maybe through the information into the World Wide Web or our internet? All these satellites taking photos, videos, they all record movements, every phone call, every conversation we have. Imagine if a software is able to absorb all this information. The capacity of this AI would be something that I can't comprehend. I just can't imagine, because I'm not smart enough to figure out what would that mean and what this software is able to do with this kind of information. Some people into the Silicon Valley believe, according to a couple of interviews from some of the CEOs of these mega conglomerates, believe that the even extending of life itself, the kind of chase of immortality or longevity, is probably achievable if the general artificial intelligence is capable to assist us. And we can see now all sorts of companies, from Eli to Modesta to a few others, that are now heavily involved into AI. And on top of that, NVIDIA has done the impossible possible by diversifying. There are some companies that produced chips or semiconductors, and they managed to stay on top, like IBM, the international business machine. But what happened is, as soon as NVIDIA came around with their GPUs, we could see that they were so much more capable. It's outstanding. It's like a single GPU disk, which is with the smaller than my hand, is now able to replace whole buildings with servers. This is the power that is into this little chip. So the computer is extending its ability to process information. The software is currently extending its capabilities as well. And one of the most applicable AGI that we're going to see, that's going to change things quickly and significantly, hopefully for good, is the full self-driving. The FSD as a taxi service, as a way of transportation, is going to do so much with. It's going to change how we transport services, goods, people, anything. But also this is going to unlock new revenues. Long time ago, over 95% of people has been involved into agriculture. They have been on the field, they have been looking after the animals. When the Industrial Revolution started to take place, people were scared that they're going to lose their jobs, and obviously they reacted on this. And we can see that the reactions that they have done in time and time again were pretty much the same. When these machines, the industrial machines, came around, they started to burn the buildings because they were thinking they're going to be without jobs. The same thing happened to, I believe, I'm not so sure, but I'll double check. You guys can do your own research as well, but I remember that I've read somewhere that when the first tractors came around and they show the capabilities of these machines onto the field, I know that people started to burning them too, because they were worried that they're not going to have any jobs. Now the world changed. The world changed because this allowed people to scale the production of food, the time of the labor were getting shorted and more was getting done. And we can even see the same thing now with Tesla. What we noticed is that there was an arson attack in Germany, which made no sense because it's supposed to be about cleaner vehicles. Well, hello, Tesla is an electric car, so going after Tesla to burn Tesla is just like, it doesn't make any sense. So there must be something else behind this. But fear or not, or the beginning of a new industrial revolution, or the AGI birth is going to happen because companies are putting immense amount of money. Governments are doing the same thing. So if one country decides, I'm going to scale back, then another one will take over. Let's not forget that the AGI will be exceptionally smart. They're literally, it will literally think any possible scenario that can happen, and it will be probably able to control the narratives of how things are happening and why they're happening and whatnot. Before to get to that point, we are going to have, hopefully, an AGI in some sort of a form or shape that is going to drive our cars. This thing is going to happen. So I look forward to this concentrate and focused execution of Tesla team. I like what Elon Musk did with focusing and putting this message out there. We are going, all of us, we are going to focus onto the full self-driving. It needs to get done. Everything else, it's like a horse, and of course you know the story. So I believe Tesla is going to achieve full self-driving, and I believe that they are going to be able to put this or apply this across the whole world. I hope this thing comes faster because a lot of people will be safer, there will be less incidents, less accidents, and less deaths. And for everyone else out there who is worried that their jobs are going to be in danger, I don't think you need to be worried. I just think you need to prepare. So having 2 part-time jobs, getting into further education, whatever you need to do it. Because AGI is coming and it will change the world. And lastly, of course, I don't want to sound too optimistic or too pessimistic, but the governments will have to step in. There is already talks about universal basic income, and there are already some tests here and there, and there are already some results. I believe this will be the future, so don't worry, the world will move on with or without us. And I hope that what we're going to see in the future is going to be something beautiful, something that we can enjoy, and it's going to lead to a world that is much safer for us, for our kids, our grandchildren, and so forward. This is all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. The thematic of this episode was slightly different, but I still hope that you learned something today. If you want to share some experience or you've got some comments, please make sure you leave them down below. And in the meantime, like, subscribe, click the notification bells so you don't miss any other episode about our future, AGI, FSD, Tesla, and the transition towards sustainable energy. Thank you so much for today, and I'll see you into the next episode.